Dear students, hope you will be fine at your respective places. As we have discussed, we were studying rather the anatomy or the internal structure of the various organs of the plant. Have studied the internal structure of the stem. We have discussed the internal structure of the root. And today we are going to study the anatomy. We are going to study the internal structure of the leaf, or we can say the histology of the leaf. Normally, when we are going to talk about the leaf, we mean the foliage leaf, which is characterized by the green color, which is characterized by the thinness, which is characterized by the flatness. The foliage leaf is the lateral appendage of the stem, which is what we call mainly concerned with the, or we can say, which has got the limited growth. This leaf, as we know, it performs the two main important physiological, or we can say the biochemical reactions of the plant, that is the transpiration and photosynthesis. Through photosynthesis, it is in a position to prepare its food, and through the transpiration that we will see the excess water is removed out from the body in the form of the water vapors. Now, regarding the structure of the leaf, we have mainly got two types of the leaf, that is the dorsoventral leaf and the isobilateral leaf. These two different types of the leaves, they are mainly based on this structure of the ground tissue on the basis of the mesophyll tissue. In case of the dorsoventral leaf, the mesophyll tissue or the ground tissue, it is divided into two main parts. First one is the upper, that is the upper palisade parenchyma, and the lower, that is the lower spongy parenchyma. And this type of the leaf, it is the characteristic feature of the dicot plants. In case of the isobilateral leaf, what we will see, जो ground tissue have or the this mesophyll tissue, it is not distinguished into the different layers, but here we will see that the ground tissue जो है, it is made up of the similar types of the cells, and this leaf, it is the characteristic feature of the monocotyledons, or we can say the monocots. Now, let us first first we will discuss the internal structure of the dicot leaf. If we go into the detail, this dicot leaf, this is the diagram of the dicot leaf. This here we will see जो इसका in cortex है, जो इसका ground tissue है, it is differentiated into upper part and the lower part. Now, this dicot, internal structure of the dicot leaf, it can be discussed under three different headings into three different regions. First one is the epidermis, second one is the ground tissue or the mesophyll tissue, and third one is the vascular bundle. Now, this epidermis, it is present on both these sides, both the surface rather, that is the upper surface and the lower surface. It is a uniserate layer, or it is made up of the single layer of the cells which are compactly arranged together, which are thin walled cells. This epidermal layer is at some places it is what we will see, you will see some small pore-like structures, and these pores are called as a stomata, and the number of the pores अगर हम बात कर लेंगे, it is more on this lower surface as compared to that of the lower epidermis. This epidermal layer, it is covered by means of a waxy layer that is called as the cuticle, and this cuticle is much thicker on the upper surface as on the upper epidermis as compared to that of the lower epidermis. The main function जो अगर हम बात कर लेंगे इस epidermis की, the main function of this epidermis is it is protective in nature. That means it helps in the protection of the inner, जो इसके पास है inner mesophyll cells, that is these palisade cells and the spongy cells. This cuticle, अगर हम in this epidermis, as it is surrounded by the cuticle, and this cuticle it also assists to test the transpiration, and it also helps us in testing the process of transpiration. अगर हम बात कर लेंगे इस स्टोमेटा की बात कर लेंगे, the stomata, in case of the dicotyledon or in case of the dicot leaf, it is surrounded by a pair of God cells which are bean shaped. In case of the dicot leaf, what we will see, जो stomata होता है, it is surrounded by means of the bean shaped, bean, B-E-A-N, bean shaped God cells, and these God cells, they contain the chloroplast. They contain the chloroplast, while as the other epidermis cell जो हमारे पास है, they do not contain the chloroplast. Again, what we will see, each god this stomata, अगर हम बात कर लेंगे, अगर देखेंगे that stomata जो है, they are surrounded by the air spaces. Now, beneath this epidermis or between the upper and lower epidermis, we have got this ground tissue, and this ground tissue is called as the mesophyll. Between this upper epidermis and this lower epidermis, we have got this ground tissue. In case of the dicot leaf, that is called as the mesophyll, and this mesophyll, it can be differentiated into two different regions. What we will see in the upper region, it consists of the elongated cells which are known as the palisade parenchyma cells. These palisade parenchyma, they are compactly arranged with each other, and these palisade cells, अगर हम बात कर लेंगे, they may be present in one or two layers. These palisade cells, they contain the chloroplast. Thus, we can say that these palisade cells, they help in the process of photosynthesis. Beneath this palisade, there we will see one more different second one layer of this mesophyll, that is the spongy cells. These spongy cells, what we will see, they are somewhat irregularly shaped cells, and they contain less chloroplast. They are not compactly arranged. Here we will see between these spongy cells, what we will see, that they leave the intercellular spaces between them. These spongy cells, they make the easy exchange of what we will see of gases along with the air spaces. The air spaces which are present next to the stomata or next to the stoma, they are called as the respiratory, what we call as the cavities, or we can say the subterminal cavities. Now we have got the third tissue which is present, or third region which is present in the dicot leaf, that is the vascular bundles. अगर हम vascular bundle की बात कर लेंगे, the vascular bundle जो है, they are numerous in number. दूसरी बात जो हम कहेंगे, the vascular bundle जो है, they are conjoined, they are collateral, they are closed. The vascular bundle जो है, they are surrounded by means of a thin walled parenchymatous cells. Thin walled parenchymatous cell. अब यहाँ पर हम देखते हैं कि जो xylem है, xylem जो है, it is situated, it is positioned in the direction of the upper epidermis, and the phloem, it is positioned in the direction of the lower epidermis. जो xylem होता है, the xylem mainly consists of the trachea element, that is the tracheatus vessels, and what we'll see, the xylem parenchyma, and a little bit of the xylem fibers. Phloem consists of the phloem tubes, these what we call the tubes, what we call as the companion cells, and the phloem parenchyma, while as the phloem fibers are all together absent. Beneath this vascular bundle, on the both sides, that is on the both sides of this, that is the vascular bundle on the both sides, that is towards the upper epidermis and the lower epidermis, there is a sheet of this cells, that is called as this sheet, that is called this sheet, this cells, and this is called as the what we call, this is made up of the parenchyma cells, or it is made up of the collenchyma cells. Regarding the monocot leaf, अगर हम मोनोकॉट लीफ की बात करेंगे, इट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज द आइसोबाइलेटरल लीफ, एंड दिस लीफ अगर हम बात कर लेंगे, इट रिलीव्स द, इसका इंटरनल स्ट्रक्चर जो है, इट रिवील्स द फॉलोइंग रीजन्स. फर्स्ट वन एपिडर्मिस, सेकंड वन मेसोफिल सेल्स, थर्ड इज द वस्कुलर बंडल्स. नाउ लेट अस वी विल फर्स्ट try to discuss this epidermis. Epidermis. This epidermis, it is present on both the upper surface as well as the lower surface, that is the adaxial surface as well as the abaxial surface. This epidermis, it consists of the uniserrate cells, that is the single layer of the cell which are thin walled, which are compactly arranged together, and these cells or epidermis cells, they are surrounded by, they are covered by a cuticle, which is a waxy layer which protects the inner cells. This epidermal layer, it is what we will call as, it is intercepted by means of small pores, and these pores are called as stomata, and the number of stomata, that is more or less equal to on both sides of, on the both surfaces, that is on the both upper and the lower epidermis. The stomata are surrounded by means of a bean shaped, these what we call the dumbbell shaped, rather, sorry beta, these stomata, they are surrounded by means of a dumbbell shaped god cell, and these god cells, they contain chloroplasts, while as the other epidermis cells, they do not contain the chloroplasts. दूसरी बात हम कहेंगे, stomata जो god cell है, it is surrounded by a special type of the cells which are called as the subsidiary cells. In this upper epidermis, what we will see, that there are some cells which are large and which are thin walled, and these cells are called, as what we will see, these cells, buliform cells, or these are called as the motor cells, and these cells helps in the rolling and unrolling of the leaves, which mainly depends upon the weather conditions. एक और बात हम कहेंगे, in some cells, epidermal cells of some grasses, there are cells which are present in the epidermis which contains the silica, and those cells are called as the silica cells. Now regarding this ground tissue or the mesophyll tissue, जो हम यहाँ की बात करेंगे, this mesophyll tissue, in case of the monocordal leaf or in case of the isobilateral leaf, it is not divided into the different cells. Rather, it is made up of the isodiametric cells, which are somewhat similar cells. Here we will again see that this tissue, it is not subdivided into different regions, and it mainly consists of the similar cells which are compactly arranged together, and these cells, they contain the chloroplasts. Now we have got this vascular bundle. बात करेंगे यहाँ पर, vascular bundle here is conjoined and the vascular bundles, they are closed. दूसरी बात हम यहाँ पर कहेंगे, vascular bundles जो हम बात करेंगे, they are small in number but smaller in size, but we will see here again some large vascular bundles, they are also present. What we will see, you will see that thick layers of the cells, they are present on both the sides of the large vascular bundles, and these are mainly made up of these, what we will see, यहाँ पर भी, these are the sclerenchymatous cells. These cells, they are the sclerenchymatous cells, and they are mainly present around the large vascular bundles. But such sheet जो हम कहेंगे, the sclerenchymatous sheet, they are absent in case of the smaller sized vascular bundles. The vascular bundles, they are surrounded by a thin layer of the parenchymatous cells, and that thin layer of the parenchymatous tissue जो हम कहेंगे, parenchymatous cell, that is called as the bundle sheath. एक और बात यहाँ पर हम देखेंगे, जो xylem, इसकी जो position है, it is positioned in the towards the upper epidermis, and जो हम phloem की बात करेंगे, it is positioned towards the lower epidermis. That is all for today. God bless you. Thanks.